I'm in Singapore right now, and I figured I would just kind of change it up rather than being in my studio space at home in Hong Kong, kind of show the Light Lens Lab 35 f2. It's a Summicron clone. Um, it's been a fun lens to try for that vintage character. I have the limited titanium version. There's only 200 of these that were made in this particular batch. I'm not sure if they're ever going to make more, but I think it's a great lens. So the construction of it is brass in the inside, but then all of it from a shell perspective, frame perspective is titanium. It's an amazingly feeling lens. The amount of clicking, you can hear that. For changing the aperture is great. The smoothness, the infinity lock, it's been a solid, awesome lens to play with, especially having that vintage character. It is f2 and it's tiny. It's actually the smallest lens I own, and it looks kind of ridiculous on a full rigged, Sony A7S III, but it does create unique characteristics, especially with lens flaring and that vintage vibe. So overall, love it. It's something I'm going to constantly play with. Obviously, has its own use case, but really, it's a very good just like walk around everyday lens. I use it on my Leica M6 TTL as well, and it obviously doesn't make the Leica M6 pocketable, but it does make a small form factor, and I'm not afraid to beat up on this. It is limited, it is relatively expensive and rare, but not as rare as the original 35 f2 vintage lens. So there's nothing wrong with traveling everywhere with this and actually using it. I tend to beat up on my gear a fair amount. I have a Hasselblad X-Pan where the paint's worn off, and the button that changes the panorama to normal frames has been removed, or it broke. But obviously it still can switch between panorama. It's just that it's not a nice little clicky button. So overall, Light Lens Lab 35 f2 titanium, amazing lens. It's been fun to shoot with.